Hey guys, welcome back to another Seb Shirts video. Today we are going to be talking about fake football shirts, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment down below what you think of the video. Every little bit of interaction helps, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. Yes, today we are talking about the infamous fakes that flood the modern football market. They're everywhere now. You can get them for very, very, very cheap on places like AliExpress or Wish, but they're also flooding places like eBay, Depop, Vinted, places like that. You cannot go 10 seconds on these websites without finding a fake or a fake seller. So I thought today we would talk about fake football shirts, and I have some fakes in a bag, and I'm going to show you and give my thoughts on the fake football shirt market and if they are worth it or not. I think when talking about fake shirts, it's important to understand context. I am a football shirt collector. I greatly value authentic shirts over anything else. I would never have a fake football shirt in my collection. I'm not advocating that you shouldn't buy fakes, or I'm not advocating that you should buy fakes. It's completely personal preference to me. I don't care particularly. Someone wants to buy fakes, whatever, it's your life, whatever you want to do. But me personally, I wouldn't buy fakes. I wouldn't have them in my collection just purely because I'm a football shirt collector. Another thing to take into account is especially the context around today is there is obviously a massive financial crisis going on around the world right now. Things are skyrocketing. Prices of everyday things are getting worse and worse. Gas prices, electric prices, and even football shirts have to come into this mix, because if you have less disposable income overall, it always means you have less disposable income for things like clothes, including football shirts. So I think that is important to take into account. I think it's also important to realise that how expensive football shirts are these days. For example, a standard replica shirt will cost you around £69. I could fully understand, especially in this current market, especially if you are a parent and you have multiple kids who will all want these jerseys. Even kids shirts right now are near 40 quid. So I think in certain contexts, especially in some people's financial situations, seeing fakes for like £15, especially right now where a lot of people can't even afford gas and electric fully now, it seems very, very I don't know what the word is, very plausible. That's not really the right word. It looks very appetizing. That's not even the right word either. My mind's gone completely blank right now. But yeah, fakes, they just seem very attractive proposition, especially when you can get one for like £12-15 on places like AliExpress. So I can fully understand and sympathise with people who can't always afford brand new shirts, but they want them, or like they've got family who want them and they feel bad not buying these things. But yeah, I think it's also important. So I'm not gonna look down on someone or take the mickey out of someone who's gonna buy fakes. If you want to buy fakes and that's what you can afford, go right ahead. One thing I'd say, instead of buying fakes, I know people who regularly will buy last season's shirts. So for example, this season's Arsenal shirt will be £65. They'll buy last season's for £35. So every season they'll just buy the season before for cheaper, especially if you go to outlets, it's £25. So one, you're getting a newer shirt, you're getting a team you want, it's only a season old, and it's for half the price. So even if you buy a brand new shirt now, by next season, it's going to be around 25 quid anyway. So if you think about it like that, still getting a new shirt every season, it's just a season old, and really, who really cares? Like, you want that, you do that. I think that's a good tactic to have instead of buying it straight away. But if you do want a new design straight away, I'm not gonna advocate for buying fakes, but I can understand for people why they buy fakes, especially in their own financial position. So if you want to buy fakes, you do it, but obviously there's going to be downsides. You are paying for a cheaper product in a worse quality, and yeah, I think it's also important to understand where those come from as well. Obviously, big companies like Nike, Adidas, Puma over the years haven't had great reps for where their clothing manufacturers come from. Like sweatshops are obviously very infamous. I don't fully know the context behind these things. I know certain companies still use bad practices, so I'm not going to preach about something I don't fully understand. But I think another thing to take into account, these cheap shirts, there's a reason why they're cheap. So usually the quality of the clothes is worse, like especially with sponsors, they'll easily come off after a couple of washes. Cheaper material just means the shirt's going to break apart itself, and then obviously whoever's making that shirt, if you're only paying 15-20 quid for a shirt, you've got to think, how much is that person making who's making that shirt? But obviously I don't understand fully the context. I'd love to hear people's opinions on that. Put it down in the comments or send me a video so I can better understand. But obviously you got to think about the context where this stuff's coming from. But I can't even say that because a lot of main manufacturers still use pretty bad conditions, I imagine, for shirts. So it's something to take into account. Maybe do a little bit of research in if you're interested. I will be doing some research after this video just to see what my opinions are right or what I've heard is correct. But yeah, I think even things taking that into account, you need to take those into account as well. I think Ellis Platinum's made a very good video on it, so you should go watch that video as well. But these are just my thoughts really on fake shirt market, and I can feel why people would buy fakes, even though particularly I wouldn't. Personally, it's personal preference. It's just not my cup of tea, and yeah, it's different strokes for different folks. So I have a bag of fakes. These are things I picked up in videos, so like mystery boxes, that infamous mystery box I did a few weeks ago where I pretty much got half of them were fake, or just pieces that I picked up over time where I thought they were real, and later down the line I found out they're not real, and I've just had them hanging around really because I don't particularly I wouldn't personally sell them on, but these shirts I bought a long time ago, so it's a bit too late to be like, oh yeah, I can have a refund now. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you the quality in these, and yeah, just have a look at how good these shirts actually are. So for example, the first shirt we have in the bag I'm going to pull out is an example I used in how to spot fakes. Is this Marseille player version shirt from a few seasons back, and just looking at it, it looks amazing. It's got the name set on there as well. The name set doesn't look that bad, because on usual fakes the name set is going to be really shiny, but this one doesn't look bad at all. But I know this is fake, but this is a fake player version, so a more premium shirt. So the fabric still feels decent. There is loose, as you can see, loose stitching. The stitching isn't the most grand in there. And the material isn't exactly the same as a full, proper one. I've never washed this, it's still got the tags on, so I don't know how long this print would last. The prints feel decent, but there are differences. It doesn't feel as premium as a real shirt, but I know this one is fake, so yeah. But apart from that, the shirt seems decent. It'd be good for a kickabout if that's what you're after. But once again, yeah, these fakes are probably good for if you're just going 5-star or something. You don't care about getting them ruined, because obviously I don't like wearing really nice shirts to play football in, just because I don't want to get them ruined. So fakes could be good for just a kickabout really. But yeah, I don't understand people buying something like this. You get a premium feeling shirt for not a lot of money, but I feel like this wouldn't last anywhere near as long as the proper one. But it still looks decent. From just walking around the street, no one's going to know this is fake really. And another thing to note on fakes is this is a size large, but putting this on it's definitely not a large. They tend to, on fakes, size down. They tend to, like, say if you buy a large, it will fit a medium. So you always size up on fakes. But yeah, it's not that bad. You can tell, but from afar, looking at it, no one's going to know. Another fake of the same season on here. I have worn this one just because I wanted to get a feel for what it felt like as a fake. I wore it around for a day, and yeah, same sort of thing is wearing it is very tight. Once again, as I said, I usually wear a large. This is a large, but this was extremely tight. The name set on here, I would say this one looks more fake than the other one, just because I've worn this once and it is already starting to crinkle, and as you can see here, it's starting to like slightly lift off the shirt already after one use. The patch feels the same as a regular one, in all honesty. We've got the same issues here with the stitching and stuff as the other one, but the patches themselves feel fine. In all honesty, they feel exactly the same. Even the Puma here is starting to feel a bit like it's going. This one doesn't feel as premium as the other one. The texture, just the texture on the two badges are completely different. Like this one, it's a rubbery texture, but it's got like texture, like lines on it. This one doesn't feel as quality as the other one, even though they're from the same place. But yeah, I've worn this one and it's already starting to feel a bit like getting the stains. It stains really easily. Obviously, normal shirts stain as well. But yeah, it's starting to like show wear after one use, which isn't great. But once again, for a kickabout, it will do, and no one's going to know really walking past you in the street that this is a fake. But I can assure you, it's definitely a fake. But yeah, if you want this kind of thing, you don't mind a lower quality shirt for much less of the price, then go ahead. You do what you want to do, really. I'm not here to preach to you guys. I'm just here giving my thoughts on it, and yeah, quality's okay. Obviously nowhere near the quality of an actual authentic shirt. You can just the main bit is by the stitching. It's just not the greatest quality in how like thin the material is. I know player version shirts from Puma are like that anyway, but it's not to this degree. But yeah, for a kickabout or wearing casually, it will do the job. Next fake we got in the bag is an older fake from a few seasons ago, because fakes seem to be getting better and better as the years go on. It's getting harder without coding to work out, but as you can see here, the first outlier here really for me is this Adidas badge here. It just doesn't look as quality. It's a regular Adidas badge. The name, just the name here feels a bit more shoddy really. The badge looks fine and doesn't look that bad at all. But yeah, this has been worn, not by me, but by, I got it in a mystery box, and sponsor's getting a bit crinkled. I don't know how much this has been worn though. But once again, this one, in all honesty, the material feels good. It feels good. It feels good quality. Stretchy. It's not a stretchy material. I have the Arsenal shirt from this here, and the material doesn't look that much dissimilar, to be honest with you. But the main reason you can see this is fake is just the quality on the stitching, once again, and then the print quality is where it really shows. The sleeve sponsor is holding up though, that looks okay. But overall, yeah, you can just feel really, if the shirt feels like, it feels okay, but it doesn't feel the same, you know, it doesn't feel as good. But visually these shirts tend to look decent. It's just when you actually hold them. But yeah, this is a pretty good high quality fake. It's not bad at all. But you can see from the code and then the writing on the code, it's not real, but I could see why someone would get deceived by something like this. So yeah, not too bad. And this one's from a few seasons old now. So our last fake shirt is one you've seen in a video as well, guys. This is the oldest fake I have, and this one is a pretty good fake. I've got to admit. This is another Man United shirt, but this one hasn't been worn either, so it's good to see. This is what product you'd get if you bought one straight out, brand new. But yeah, this is a good quality fake. I'd say this is a grade A fake as well. But yeah, it looks great. You saw in the video when I unboxed it, it looked promising when I opened it, but with further research, you can kind of tell by the tags because it's just a very generic tag on there. These look great, but it's the back, it's very generic. So you can tell from there, but overall the stitching, the Nike looks good, but it's slightly, I don't know if you can see that, especially if you compare it to this one. It's a lot more tighter stitching on real shirts than on the fake. Don't know if you can see that properly on the camera, but yeah, this is another decent fake. It's another fake of a player version, like authentic shirt. See by the gold bit there, and then the breathing holes. But yeah, you can just feel the material's a bit more flimsy than an actual shirt. I haven't got any comparison with a real Man United shirt from this era, just because I don't collect Man United shirts, but I have Nike shirts from this era, and the material just feels a bit thinner. But overall, it is decent quality. The dry fit is also, the text is a bit funky on there. But once again, if you're just this would have cost you like 15 quid. So for 15 quid, it's really good quality, I'd say. Obviously, visually from afar, it looks exactly the same. It's only when you look really up close that you can tell these things. So yeah, and stitching is obviously quite bad. So this will probably, after a few wears, will look quite bad. That's the thing with fakes. After a few wears, they get very tatty. They look good when they're brand new, but they get tatty when they're worn quite a lot. So that's one thing to take into account when buying fakes. But yeah, there's all the fakes I have currently. Now I'll try and get rid of. I'll probably just give them to a charity shop or something. Just get rid of them because I have no use for them really at all. And I'm not going to sell them because they are fake. Yeah, the overall conclusion I'm going to make from this video is, personally, I think it's completely up to personal preference with fake shirts. If you want to buy fakes, just do a bit more research first. You just got to understand it's not going to be as good quality. Obviously, for a cheaper price, you get what you pay for in most circumstances. Personally, I won't endorse buying fakes. I won't buy fakes personally, but I'm not going to tear down anyone who does buy fakes, especially if you're in a bad financial position. I can honestly see why buying a fake seems like a good idea just because of how cheap it is. And if you want to do that, be my guest. You're not hurting anyone, I guess. It's your life. But yeah, that's just my thoughts personally. Personally, I wouldn't buy them. I don't endorse them. Always, I would just recommend buying older season shirts for cheaper price. You can get great authentic shirts for cheaper, especially when you go on eBay and look. I recommend watching some tips on how to get good authentic shirts on YouTube on my channel. But I'd always recommend buying premium real shirts just because they're going to last you a lot longer. They're going to remain in a good condition as long as you wash them properly and store them properly. They're always going to be in good condition, where these fakes aren't going to last very long term. But yeah, if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. But thank you guys for watching this video once again. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you find it slightly inciting. Put your comments in the comments, obviously, in the comments below. Put your thoughts down there. Have you bought fakes in the past? Would you buy fakes? What's your thoughts on fakes? And if you have any thoughts on this video, I'd love to be educated on where these fakes come from, where real shirts come from. I want to do a video in the future on why shirts are so, modern shirts, and especially why brand new shirts are so expensive now. Love to do some research on there. I wish probably should have done a bit more research before this video, but I can't find a lot of info. I couldn't find a lot of information where these fakes come from. They obviously come majority from China, so yeah, I don't exactly know. It's quite hard finding a lot of information on it. Obviously, it's quite secretive where these come from because it's not legal them selling copyrighted images of football teams, so it's kind of hard to find information on it. But if you guys know a lot, put it down in the comments. I'd love to read and know more about it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. It means a lot. We've hit 400 subs, which is great. We're aiming for that 500 sub mark by the end of the year, so if you can hit that subscribe mark, help us out, join the channel, and yeah, can't wait to see you guys in the next one. TTFN, peace out.